He's my boy. How about you? You're okay. You're okay. Yeah, they're right there. I know. They're right there. Good boy. Needless to say, I'm not spending as much time in the barn as I used to. Which is okay, because the entire intention of us moving here was so that I could edit my visionary leadership program. Teaching visionary leadership by example, obviously. And I had years and years of footage, story after story after story, illustrating the principles of visionary leadership. And I was supposed to be editing that here, furthering my visionary leadership training. Of course, that didn't really work out that way, because soon after we moved in, we discovered that all the promises that were made were actually not really kept. I realized that I had to really document everything that was going on here, and also everything that wasn't going on here. And just because of the sheer neglect, I have no other word for it. The sheer neglect that we found this place in forced us to do a heck of a lot of work to make it even remotely safe and usable for our animals. Meanwhile, paying for the privilege, of course, of using the facility. We were paying an executive rent while being confronted with a fixer-upper. The property was sold to us as well-maintained in insert name of landlord here, standard, whatever. What a good boy. You are the bravest of them all today, sweetie. Oh, wonderful. Look at you. So instead of editing my visionary leadership training and all the stories that I had gathered over the years, I ended up filming what was going on and what was not going on here, because I realized I really had to keep my receipts, because these people were not playing nice. It took me a while to figure out who was not playing nice. At first I thought it was the staff that had learned to, whatever, do the absolute minimum because there was no supervision whatsoever. Unfortunately, after months and months and months of trying to get the attention of the landowner, our landlord, to say, listen, your property has been neglected for years and years and years and years, and now we are dealing with the consequences of this neglect. And, well, first of all, we would like you to acknowledge that the property was not handed to us in immaculate condition, so there's that. But also, how is this in your interest? We honestly thought that if we could only get the attention of the landowner and say, hey, look at our videos and see how much, how much neglect, it's like how little has been done over the years by people that you were paying to look after your property, they have obviously not been looked after your property because this is the state in which we found it. We honestly thought that if the landowner would realize, like, oh my God, this is horrendous neglect. I've been paying people to look after my shit, and they have not been looked after shit. Thank you for showing me this. This is valuable information for me. Instead, they are choosing to kill the messenger, or at least try to kill the messenger. They're not very successful so far, because I am still alive and kicking some ass, and speaking my truth. And of course, in doing so, I created yet another teach by example moment. Not that I needed any more examples, but hey, here it is. And I had to film everything anyway because my videos are my receipts. They show exactly the sorry state in which we found this property. It shows the immense work we did to make it even remotely usable for our animals, even though we paid top dollar for the privilege of using this property. It turned into a day-by-day account of our journey, the journey that led us here, and then the journey that we embarked on to make this place our home. And then COVID-19 hit. We immediately realized that this was a significant event, a life-changing event. And since I was on a roll, filming and editing, I decided to go more or less in real time, as much as I could in real time. And while I was fully geared up, our landlord decided to finally pay us some attention, but not in a very friendly way. Trump calls the press corrupt and fake news when they don't report nicely on him. Whereas the press says, listen, if you do nice things, we'll report nicely on you. If you're a My battery ran out just as I was going off on a rant about what an idiot Donald Trump is. But hey, let's not, because I don't want to be sued for defamation, right? And it's not about specifics anyway at this point. It's about the notion of who are you choosing to be, moment to moment to moment. So crying defamation, something Donald Trump does on a regular basis, is just another version of crying fake news and corrupt media. It's saying, what you are showing looks bad on me. And I don't like that it looks bad on me. Therefore, I am going to declare it defamatory. Or in Trump's case, therefore, I am going to declare it fake news by the corrupt media. Same, but different. we are dealing with an archetype, an energy that we collectively have to deal with. An energy that you could describe as a petty tyrant, a bully, somebody that believes that might is right and that might equals money or access to money. Well, guess what? Those days are over, saith the Covfefe Revelations, obviously. As terrible and devastating as COVID-19 is, there is an element of it that is also a equalizer. Because whether you live paycheck to paycheck or from your portfolio, COVID-19 hits everyone. Whether you are wealthy or poor, once you get the virus, it's gonna do its thing in your body. No matter your bank account. Of course, there's the not so little issue that those who can afford it can stay away from the danger zone, which is basically anywhere outside of your own home. So what is really on the agenda here is a collective attending to the energy of the petty tyrant. And of course, the most vocal, the most visible example today of a petty tyrant is Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America. Phew. You don't make this shit up, but there it is. So we need to deal with it. And that's what the Covfefe Revelations are all about. How are we attending to this bullshit collectively? A bully's only power lies in the fear of their victim. And if a victim refuses to be fearful, poof, there goes the power that the bully thought he had, or she had, or they had. Yeah. Good lad. What a good boy. There you go. Good. Sorry, sweetie. Thank you for your patience. Get out of here. Somebody else's turn. Good boy. Gosh, my boy. Bodhi.